let's get to Tim Pool, because the right-wing meltdown is continuing. Kremlin-funded streamer Tim Pool says he's in debt and ending his show after Russia cut off his $100,000 a week. Let's take a look.
Leave us. We have 2 weeks left in the year before we go on our Christmas hiatus. You know, I'm not a big fan of any kind of hiatus. I would prefer just to work. But it is taxing. It is grueling, of course. And there's a lot of infrastructure here that requires me to work all day, every day, Monday to Friday, with some extra work on the weekends, usually meetings. And I'm probably going to have a stroke.
Oh, man, it's such a tough job, dude. Remember when all these guys were fucking yelling at me because of a misunderstanding, a clip that was, again, boosted on Reddit and shit, where I talked about how streaming actually is soul-sucking in a different way, where it, like, eradicates your social battery in ways that, in my experience at least, like, other social aspects of a regular 9-to-5 never did. Having said that, of course, I obviously understand the privileged position that I'm in. And all of these guys went crazy with that. They love talking about that. All these, like, anti-union, anti-labor motherfuckers, from Keemstar down to, like, Tim Pool, Bench Bureau, everybody was, like, running victory laps around that. Here's Timothy Pool talking about how he's just working so hard. Little baby working so hard. First of all, I stream 7 to 9 hours every single day, 7 days a week. Now, maybe we'll say 6 days a week. Tim Pool, on the other hand, goes live for what? 2 hours, 3 hours? However many times a week? The f this guy talking about?
My health's actually pretty good. My blood pressure is great. My resting heart rate is actually around 45. I exercise quite a bit. Haven't been able to skate in the past month or two, the holidays, and But we have to have these conversations, and I have been with the people, our contractors, people we work with, our vendors, partners. And one thing is clear: the violence will get worse. It is going to escalate. We cannot keep going as status quo. Something has to change. It may be that, as we described after the assassination of Charlie Kirk and the threat to come and shoot up our studio and our workplace, we asked, at what point do we say we can't do this anymore? The cost of running.
I just got laid off from my job at Timcast. If anyone has any leads on a podcast producer gigs, let me know. Yeah, this is a strange time to admit this, but yes, we fired March, and he started working at Timcast, and I guess he got fired from Timcast as well. What a bad streak of luck for this guy, huh? Now, do I trust Tim Pool is actually going to quit podcasting? No, don't threaten me with a good time. It's not going to happen. He says this every goddamn year. I think he's just trying to farm sympathy points.
Timcast IRL studio and the projects around it exceeds the amount of money it brings in. That's just that breaking point, isn't it, for any business? If you need $100 to, run your restaurant, but you're only bringing 90, you go out of business. The issue? The cost isn't cameras or lights.
What is crazy about this, by the way, is that I believe someone shot at his studio or something. That's what he was saying, right? The police have 0 reports of a shooting in his town. So wait, did they actually shoot at him or not? All crowdsourced entertainment gets a boost in sales when you claim having to quit. If things are going fine and you fake this, then you make big bucks from a grift. I don't think things are going fine at the Tim Pool compound. I don't think things are going fine at the Tim Pool compound, like whether he got shot at or not. He says he has footage but won't release it because he doesn't want people to know where the cameras are. Well, clearly, knowing where the cameras are haven't stopped people from shooting at him. So I think things are not going fine because of the same that I was talking about with Ben Shapiro. Things are not going fine because these guys actually do have a lot of employees and stuff. And when they're not getting a ton of right-wing big-ticket donors to prop up their franchise, or getting money, in Tim Pool's case, directly from a foreign adversary, Russia, to the tune of $4 million, they have to downsize, especially if Tim Pool, who literally dropped out of 4th grade, for the record, for those of you who don't know, if you want to understand like what his mentality, what his brain looks like, what his brain capacity looks like. Yeah. A lot of things start making sense about Tim Pool when you realize that he actually doesn't have education beyond the 4th grade level. Or 7th grade? Is it 7th grade? 4th grade is when shapes get pretty tough. His dad said it was 4th grade. He says he dropped out at 14. Anyway, bro got left behind, okay? No child left behind. Tim Pool said, bet. I'll show you what. Yeah, he looked at middle school and said, that's a woke institution, okay? Calculus, that's the invention of the transgender agenda. I am not going to learn about those sorts of things. You cannot teach me. My point is, he probably doesn't have the mental faculties, the bare minimum mental faculties necessary to run a operation when the money inevitably dries out. Like fiscal responsibility, I suspect, is not a strong suit, as evidenced by the many different insane advertisement campaigns that Tim Pool has actually dumped a load of money into, whether it be putting a billboard on Times Square or whether it be putting a billboard everywhere, really. I mean, if you go around the country, you will see Tim Pool's face on the side of highways. Not exactly certain as to how much real eyeballs and real donations that translates to. It could also be the ton of money he dumped into purchasing a skate park just as a flex when the locals did not want him to participate in a competition there. It could be the money that he spent on decals that he got purchased as a form of marketing on NASCAR and a NASCAR car. It could also be the money that he dumped into launching a music career.
Did you think I'd leave you there?
I don't know. Or the fact that he has to pay people to be his friend. The point is, he's done all of those things, but at the same time, while he's done all of those things and his burn rate has gone up year over year, his numbers have actually not gone up. So he's not actually bringing in a new audience or even reaching the same level of prominence that he once did with his commentary. If you go look at his Social Blade, I wonder where he's at. Oh, he's got a C+ grade. That's not good. Even my YouTube channel has a higher grade than that. 1.4 million subs, 3.2 million views in the last 30 days. That's like not even a third of the views that I get on the HasanAbi channel. Things start to make sense when you look at his view counts. 62,000, 27,000, 37,000, 8.6 thousand. These view counts are fucking abysmal, dude. His other YouTube channel, the big one with 2.58 million subscribers. Let's take a look at that. Maybe that one's a little bit better. Okay, this is the main channel that he has. 13K, 46K, 13K, 26K, 52K. You just can't sustain any business. All the while, Candace Owens is actually calling out Timothy Pool right now to an audience of 152,000 people. Tim Pool tried to do the thing that many other content demons do, which is identify a popular right-wing figure and attack them for like the last month or so. Initially posting snide remarks about Candace Owens and subtweeting Candace Owens and then directly talking about Candace Owens. Let's take a look at how Candace Owens is dealing with it.
So there's a lot to unpack there. First and foremost, what you are seeing right there is on a display of testosterone. Men that speak to women like this are not tough guys, okay? What you are seeing is actually a display of estrogen. Everything he is doing there is somebody who is not a man. He
said, Tim Pool, you actually have hair under that beanie. You're actually a woman, Tim Pool.
Secondly, Tim Pool doesn't even have the intellect to understand that we put him in the thumbnail because he accused me in a full episode with Milo Yiannopoulos, which we showed and contextualized, of being someone who benefited from Charlie Kirk's assassination.
Let's take a look. Hold on. Let's watch what Timmy
to attack me in this moment. So take a listen to Tim
Let's
Pool.
see what Timmy PP had to say.
Candace Owens is a f***ing evil scumbag. She is a degenerate. She is burning everything down, and she's gloating and smiling while she does it. And you know what you told me? She has no security. She doesn't deal with the shit we have to deal with. She's a piece of shit. She's making everyone...
The last time I saw him this enraged was when he was talking about Ukraine is the enemy of mankind.
Ukraine is the enemy of this country. Ukraine is our enemy, being funded by the Democrats. I will stress this again. One of the greatest enemies of our nation right now is Ukraine.
Oh my God, he hit the soy slam. Wow. Calm down, Timmy.
Everyone else suffer, and all of these conservatives out there that send me these messages have no balls to call her out. More and more people have started doing it. They send me these messages. Good for you, Tim. Good for you, Tim. I wasn't the first person to do it. I'm not going to take credit for that. But don't DM me like I did something for you as you cower, scared that she'll put you on her thumbnail and claim you benefited from Charlie Kirk's assassination, which he's doing to me right now.
Yeah, that was the...
I'm done with these people.
She has security, just not on the level of you.
Oh, yeah, the
girls are fighting. Ah! This is so sick. Oh my God.
one fat guy you mentioned with no wall and no barrier in a suburban neighborhood with neighbors shouldn't give two no one's out for her. She's lying about all of this. You told me you went to her house and she's got a 4-foot wall and one fat guy, and she doesn't give a about her security. Meanwhile, I get bullets fired at my property and I have to go live in the middle of nowhere. And I got strangers coming up to my house in Maryland, breaking in. I got people showing up and beating up the residents who trying to live there. How the am I even supposed to sell this property?
So there's a lot to unpack there. First and foremost, what you are seeing right there is on a display of testosterone. Men that speak to women like this are not tough guys, okay? What you are seeing is actually a display of estrogen. Everything he is doing there is somebody who is not a man, he is not tough, and he would never dare to speak to a man like that, right? People that find that very easy.
Yeah, that's what 45 beats per minute looks like
to
in the heart rate
understand
side.
that we put him in the thumbnail because he accused me in a full episode with Milo Yiannopoulos, which we showed and contextualized, of being someone who benefited from Charlie Kirk's assassination. So he thinks he's being accused. No, you accused me of that in like a actually, I think it was 2-hour episode with Milo Yiannopoulos, in which Milo defended me and explained that I am not to blame for the lame excuses that the feds have given us regarding Charlie Kirk's assassination. And that if we do need to have some spiritual searching in terms of what the Republican Party has become, that the time for that is now. Okay. So this little, and I really like, he's a small person for this, a very small person who is also theatrical, Timothy Smollett, who pretends every year like people are trying to kill him. He's a chronic fence sitter, okay? Pretending like he is braving the wilderness for being what? The 110,000th person who's making a video about Candace Owens in the wake of Charlie Kirk's assassination. He thinks he's pioneering that. Are you out of your mind? It's only the safest thing you can do. What's
True.
next? Is he going to make a video and call Kanye West anti-Semitic? Like that's what he's pioneering right now. Oh my gosh, so original. Like, is he going to call Donald Trump evil in 2016? This is the storm that he's.
Hold on now, Candace, you did that too. Candace, you did that too.
He is a fundamentally weak man for what he did there. He should apologize. He won't. I don't care what happens to his platform. He's now essentially trying
Candace
out.
Owens
He's
literally
under
had a
financial
website.
pressure. He's trying out for a Zionist.
Candace Owens literally had a website shitting on Donald Trump in
Little kind of a check.
2016.
I hope it happens for you, Tim. I hope it makes you happy.
It's fucking awesome. This was the full clip of Tim's crash out, by the way. Candace
Occam's
Owens
razor.
is a bleep. Tim Pool has the biggest meltdown of his career.
Suggest
Could he
Robinson
be
is
right?
the likely culprit. We will see what happens in the trial when evidence is presented, but there's literally no other story. Just a bunch of fucking retards on the internet saying stupid shit. And what that does is the organization that helped get Donald Trump elected, which needs
Whoa, he said the R word, bro. Can he say that?
to persist. You don't got to be a fan of it, but it certainly will help get individual congressional candidates elected and stop Democrats from launching new committees and putting more people in prison like Steve Bannon and Peter Navarro. Instead, it's being gutted by fucking psychopaths telling people to pull their donations. So when this organization burns to the ground, or whatever the fuck happens to it, maybe they're fine. The organization that's rallying young people, causing a shift in the political leanings of a generation for the first time in history, is now in dire straits. Their leader and founder murdered, and prominent pieces of human trash are trying to destroy it. It's fucking evil. So you know what? When someone pulls in front of my property and fires on it several times, I'm sitting here looking at these vile pieces of shit and thinking to myself, for what purpose will I stick my neck out if this is what happens after Charlie Kirk is killed? Candace Owens is a fucking evil scumbag. She is a degenerate cunt. She is burning everything down And she's gloating and smiling while she does it. And you know what you fucking told me? She has no security. She doesn't fucking deal with the shit we have to deal with. She's a piece of shit. She's making everyone else suffer. And all of these fucking conservatives out there that send me these fucking messages have no balls to call her out. More and more people have started doing it. They send me these fucking messages. Good for you, Tim. Good for you, Tim. I wasn't the first person to do it. I'm not going to take credit for that.
Calm down, Tim. Damn, Tim. Hey, yo, 45 resting BPM. Nope. No. He's at 180. He's maxing out, dude. His heart's about to explode. Oh, no. He's mad as hell. Like I said, this is the only time I've seen him do the soy slam. The only other time I've seen him, it was when Russia was giving him $4 million to do that.
Scumbag. She is a degenerate cunt.
You gotta run it back. Ooh!
She is.
He said the C word. Oh my God. This is awesome. Hey, yo. Why is he so mad, bro? What? Dude, this has been something that I've been like kind of tuning into for the past month or so. Ever since Charlie Kirk got shot and Candace started popping off big time, so much so that he got an entire nation state and its leadership to come out and be like, we didn't execute Charlie Kirk. Please don't say that we did that. And Candace Owens single-handedly destroyed the mainstream narrative about who was responsible for Charlie Kirk's death. Ever since then, Candace has been on a tear. She has been popping the off. And every other day where she goes live, there's 100,000 plus people watching. 100,000 plus people watching live for the 1 hour that she goes live. And she's making a ton, okay? She is farming those donos. She is farming those ad campaigns. Yeah, there are like $500 super chats coming in. Candace Owens makes millions of dollars from her show, and media says, yeah, sure. I don't know if it's at least $9 million a year by his analysis. I don't know how valid his analysis is, but she is making a ton of money at a time when Tim Pool, Ben Shapiro, and all the old guard, right? All of those guys are hemorrhaging their audiences. They've all lost their audiences. They've lost their audiences to Asmongold. They've lost their audiences to Candace Owens. They've lost their audience to Nick Fuentes. And basically, this is really pissed off Tim Pool, okay? Tim Pool has been losing his mind over this. It's pure petty jealousy. And initially, Tim Pool was like tweeting out vague posts about how I think someone can link it in here. If you saw it, like he was vague posting about like, oh, if I had no honor, I too could make a lot of money like some of these other people. But we all know I can't do that, blah, 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 all this shit, right? And it was very obvious that he was talking about Candace Owens, right? In any case, over the last couple of weeks, he started to address Candace Owens directly. He went from like claiming that, there are people that we all know that have no loyalty and no ethics, and that's why they're making a lot of money, to just straight up making fun of Candace Owens in his own way. I received information this morning to put the final piece together for me. I now can say with full confidence that I believe Charlie Kirk was betrayed by Candace Owens and some of the very people who claim to be his friend. Yes, I will be naming names and providing evidence for my claims. And I'm making a personal plea to every well-meaning person who donated to this organization to say thank you. You were lied to, and Candace knew. Oh, here's the video. Yeah.
We have this tweet.
Hasan Piker viewership plummets. Hasan breaks down as Gen Z reject leftism. How'd that go? March 28th, 2024. Hasan Piker viewership plummets. Interesting. Interesting coming from Timmy Boy. It's weird. Let's see. What is my monthly viewership right now? Let me take a look real quick. Okay, I got a copy strike. Okay, we'll fucking do that later. Jesus Christ. Shut up, YouTube. Where are we at? Channel analytics, 1.7 million, 1.7 million subscribers. Last 28 days, 21 million views in the last 28 days, which is, not great. Not great for the channel. I think last month it was like around 30 plus million. But it happened to be that that happens to be 3 times the size of Tim Pool's channel. Or not 3, sorry, 10 times the size of Tim Pool's channel. What a fall off this has been. Any day now, my fall off is imminent. And also, another fall off that's imminent is the People's Republic of China. Both myself and the People's Republic of China is going to fall off any day now. Big time. It is an inevitability. That's what I meant when I said I'm at a very Chinese point in my life. Just one more context puke. Yeah.
Burning everything down.
Back to great.
And she's gloating and smiling
Divide
while she
by
does it.
spiders.
And you know what you told me she has no security. She doesn't fucking deal with the shit we have to deal with. She's a piece of shit. She's making everyone else suffer. And all of these fucking conservatives out there that send me these fucking messages have no balls to call her out. More and more people have started doing it. They send me these fucking messages. Good for you, Tim. Good for you, Tim. I wasn't the first person to do it. I'm not going to take credit for that. But don't fucking DM me like I did something for you as you cower, scared that she'll put you on her thumbnail and claim you benefited from Charlie Kirk's assassination, which he's doing to me right fucking now.
Yeah, that was the...
I'm fucking done with these people.
She has security, just not on the level of you.
Oh, yeah, the one fat guy you mentioned with no wall and no barrier in a suburban neighborhood with neighbors. She doesn't give two fucking shits. No one's out for her. She's lying about all of this. You told me you went to her house and she's got a 4-foot wall and one fat guy, and she doesn't give a shit about her security. Meanwhile, I get bullets fired at my fucking property, and I have to go live in the middle of nowhere. And I got fucking strangers coming up to my house in Maryland, breaking in. I got people showing up and beating up the residents who try to live there. How the fuck am I even supposed to sell this property? And you know, it's all lies. It's all hypocrisy, and it is for the purpose of making money. And she does not live the way other people live. And she claims she liked Charlie, she loved Charlie, and she is burning everything down that he built because she is evil. She is evil. And I'll say it again, this conservative movement is fractured, it's fried, whatever it is. Okay? Republicans are on track to lose the midterms. They were actually trending the other direction until Charlie Kirk was murdered.
Yeah.
And this is the point, isn't it? The most effective political assassination in history.
No, I don't think Republicans were on track to win the midterms until Charlie Kirk was assassinated. That's delulu. The reason as to why the Republicans are crashing and burning, or at least their base is hemorrhaging, has nothing to do with Charlie Kirk's status as being alive or being dead. Nothing at all.
So just to...
If anything, shouldn't that have been a galvanizing factor in the base? Shouldn't that have been the moment, the pivotal moment where everyone turned around and went, oh my God, the left is trying to kill us. They're out to get us. They're out to physically do violence to us. Oh wait, they did try to do that. And you know who fucked that up for them? Candace Owens, baby. So technically, he ain't wrong when he says Candace Owens ruined our plans. The only thing he's right about is the fact that Republicans tried to come out and unify around a message that it was actually Chuck Schumer that was out to kill them. Now, how successful that message would be, given, you know, things that people can visualize and see with the way that Democrats talk about issues, I guess we're never going to find out how successful that would have been in the absence of Candace Owens coming out and throwing a bomb in the middle of that conversation by immediately shifting every conservative's attention back to Israel by saying this was f***ing Israel. Candace's total insanity over Kirk's death reads more as someone grieving a person than his wife hosting $10,000 per seat dinner parties, weirdly enough. So not surprised his fans have turned to her over Turning Point USA. I said this at the time. Candace Owens, out of all of the conservatives, including Erica Kirk, was the only person that seemed to be genuinely grieving Charlie Kirk's death. Now, do I think she's still a grifter? Absolutely. Do I think she's really farming this shit? Oh, 100%. But it was very clear to me that she was one of the few people that was like, I need to take some time for myself. This is ridiculous. I can't believe it. And especially with how organized the professional Republican side was in the aftermath of Charlie Kirk's assassination, it does feel to me like a lot of people looked at Candace Owens and were like, well, they were really close friends, actually. So that's the reason why these guys are falling apart.
And thanks to the likes of the vile cunt Candace Owens, she has turned Turning Point into the perpetrators of the crime that was against them. I'm not on good terms necessarily with Turning Point USA. They didn't invite me to their stupid event. I don't want to go. I don't want to go. They invited me back after I started criticizing Candace. I'm not going to your event. I'm over all of this. The last thing that I need to deal with is a bunch of cowards in conservative media refusing to stand up to her. Megyn Kelly, come on. I appreciate the kind words, but come on. Such pathetic bullshit. You know, and I get people saying, Tim, you know, thank you so much for talking about it. I don't care. I'm not doing a favor for anybody. I'm not doing this to benefit anybody. No. Nobody's paying me. There's no Russia. There's no Israel. There's just me sticking my neck out and then risking dying for what? A bunch of cowards that don't want to stand up to protect themselves?
Wait, when he says there's no Russia, there's no Israel, there was Russia. So I guess he's just crying because the Russian funds have run out. But does that mean that there's also legitimacy to the notion that maybe he's getting paid by Israel too? The fact that he just volunteered this information about Israel leads me to believe that maybe Israel was paying him too. He did, after all, publicly meet with Benjamin Netanyahu.
So last night I wasn't here. I got late word that I was invited to a private roundtable meeting with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
I guess he was pushing both Z's. True. Real bummer for Tim, man.
People like Candace Owens.
I couldn't believe that she put you in the thumbnail
Cunt.
of her piece today.
I'm
This
done.
guy.
The idea that she didn't imply
done.
that you had some benefit or that you benefit somehow. Like
She benefited. I think she's a Fed, and I think she killed Charlie. No one benefited more than her. And now she is, when you look at what's stopping us.
You know what's really funny about this is just pure jealousy. Like, this is no longer commentary about like if you were to do sincere commentary or serious commentary about the impact of Candace Owens, like, you know, betraying Charlie Kirk, that's one thing. But this literally just, Tim here is so mad. He's so mad that he can't even hide why he's upset. Like, he's just genuinely upset because Candace Owens is farming Charlie Kirk's death. It's so awesome. And now he's saying Candace Owens he's so upset that he's like calling Candace Owens a Fed and like actually defaming Candace Owens to a degree where like Candace could actually take a leak, could actually sue him for defamation. Oh my God. That would be, oh, please do that. Oh, that would be so sick. I wonder what kind of delicious commentary would come out of that if Candace Owens actually sued Tim Pool for defamation for saying that she was responsible for Charlie Kirk's death as a federal agent. Oh, the discovery. Oh my God, please.
From winning in 2026 right now, what the biggest threat and the biggest fear we have is, it is the disarray on the right. It is the fracturing of the coalition of all the different voices that came together and stopped the neoliberal bullshit liberal economic order machine that was coming out and telling everybody to chop their dicks off and that you had to get fucking injected or get locked in your house. And here we have a coalition resisting and rejecting that.
What part of neoliberalism has to do with transgender stuff? That's confusing to me. The neoliberal machine ordered you to chop your dick off? I guess I must have missed the memo on that one. Yeah, Ronald Reagan, Mr. Advocate of Transgenderism. This is why when Donald Trump says everything's transgender, people immediately understand what he's saying. Because these guys have one frequency, man. They're so lost in the f***ing sauce. Unironically, this commentary also devolves into everybody transgender. The f*** do trans people have to do with this? It's almost as though he's saying like, hey, remember how much we hated trans people? Remember how good things were back then? Why can't we go back to that? Come on, everybody. Get more hateful now, please. Things were so good.
Charlie Kirk dies, and he's not perfect. He loved Israel. Some people don't like that, but he certainly did organize a movement that brought people together, that helped get Trump elected, helped Republicans win, and resisted what the Democratic Party had been doing and these psychopath institutions. I don't want to go back to COVID. Does everybody remember what that was like? When you were locked in your home, you had to wear 2 masks, and you couldn't go anywhere unless they stuck you in the arm. And the only resistance we had was these feckless loser Republicans who've got nothing done over the past year. And now Charlie Kirk was murdered. And we say, holy crap, what do we do? How do we keep things together? And Candace, with a smile on her face, and Ian Carroll and all the rest of them say,
Trump was literally president for like most of the shit that he's complaining about.
Point did it to themselves. They destroyed themselves. Pull your donations because they work for Israel. Even Nick Fuentes calling it out, saying this is psychotic. And she crossed the line. She continually crosses the line every day, insinuating that Turning Point literally killed the guy who made them all rich. And I hear this in the streets, and it's at a certain point, I'm like, holy shit, we're gonna lose the midterms. We're gonna lose the midterms. Then we're gonna lose in 2028, and it's because she's a piece of shit. Because instead of saying, guys, let's come together and figure out how to work together, she says the stupidest retarded crap. And now everybody's running around divided and broken. For what reason? For literally what reason?
Because they killed Charlie Kirk in broad daylight and we don't care about your stupid midterms. We just don't care. Like, they really, this is how they view Charlie Kirk. That's why I say, was anything in his life real? Tim Pool is going off right now because he's like, it's not the time. You guys need to be mules. You know
what's crazy? Charlie was such a fucking Trump dick rider and so invested in that cause that he actually wouldn't want the midterms to be flubbed because of this. This is the perfect legacy for Charlie Kirk and the entire conservative machine, honestly. Hoisted on their own petard.